is all gov here. News sources. Actually, you could Google the news source. It pops up everywhere. There's a big headline, but not really. And the case, originally filed in 2002, was brought by an unidentified man from Seattle who claims he was sexually abused in the 60s by Reverend Andrew Ronan, who is deceased now. The plaintiff's attorney plans to depose Vatican leaders for trial. A lawyer for the Holy See contends the Pope and other senior leaders are immune from civil actions under the Foreign Sovereignty Immunity Act. So basically, they can't go after the Vatican. But what they're doing is like they don't want the Catholics to have immunity. And this is all part of the Luciferian I was telling you about, how, you know, it's sex magic and sex is to do, especially in the high level of occultism with the Vatican and everything. These people are Luciferians, and their way of magic and the spiritual enlightenment is robbing the innocence of a young boy and having fornication and sodomy with a young child. And back in the day, they used to sacrifice them, and they really don't do that much anymore because of, you know, it's out in the open now, and there's so much details into that, and it sounds a little far-fetched, but very true. The Catholic Church is not of God, never was. Constantine, who created Catholicism, took Christianity, took paganism, bunched it together to call Catholicism. It was a merger of paganism and Catholicism. He created the Pope, which is his real name is called the Vicar of Christ. He thinks he's another Christ, the Holy Father, when Jesus himself says, "Do not address any man upon the earth your Father, for your Father is in heaven." So to call him the Holy Father is heresy, plain and simple. And we don't have much time to get into details about that. There's some news on Big Brother. Consuls use bugs and lampposts to eavesdrop on you. This is from Express Daily, July 5th. High-powered spy microphones on street lamps are being used to snoop in consul officials to listen on private conversation. Basically, I already read through this article. If you Google this, you'll see tons of it. Britain, as you know, is George Orwell's 1984 on steroids. They're using lamppost with sound devices and cameras, like a street light that has a camera and sound device, and they pick up key words if somebody's talking. Just say, "Oh, the government's they're not doing their job right." Bang, they'll zoom right on them. Boom, that's who they are, and they're arrested. And that's what's Britain got to do with us. Why we always bring up Britain? Because Britain is a preamp what's going to happen here. Oil skimming, this is more on BP News. Oil skimming Leviathan called to storm tossed Gulf. Now, there was several skimmers that were offered to Obama, well, to clean up the crisis, and Obama and BP refused them to. This is from different companies and everything. They refused to have them help out. They don't want nobody down there. But they got this oil skimming Leviathans, 3.5 football. This is from the Boston Herald. This is from today, actually. And this thing is 3.5 football fields big. It's supposed to suck up as much as 21 million gallons a day. And yeah, this thing is gushing millions of gallons. So basically, it's going to be. I mean, it could do some good, but I mean, other than that, the whole thing about it is, you know, why now? Why didn't they let the skimmers in before, when they could have got a huge grip on this, control on this? And also the BP crisis, they could have, all scientists, everybody said they could have the leak, I mean, sealed within a day or two. It could have been done within less than a week. But for some reason, they'll lose money if this happens. They'll lose money, and the oil that comes up, they're not losing nothing because they still suck it up, and it doesn't mix with water, so it's still good. The guy who owned the oil rig already made estimated about $12 million off the wreckage already. Unbelievable. And there's more on Cheswick military to help National Guard establish chemical warfare unit in Texas. This is June 29, 2010, Infowars.com. And it says, according to the Texas National Guard Chief Commander Adjutant General Jose S. Moraga, soldier from the Cheswick military 31st Brigade of Radiation, Chemical, and Biological Protection will help Their U.S. counterparts established a similar unit in Texas. The soldiers are expected to arrive somewhere next month. The Czech military is coming to Texas, and it's supposed to arrive here in July, I guess. And basically, this is just one of many things. UN troops spotted in Pennsylvania. They saw the whole convoy of military UN troops on the highway in Pennsylvania, and they're setting up for martial law. They're putting military foreign troops everywhere. FEMA uses 14 countries' militaries in the national level exercise, and a lot of tyranny. And more on the economy here. Dollar plunges after UN call to ditch greenback. The United Nations is calling to ditch the greenback as the dollar plunges. Paul Joseph Watson, Prison Planet. Today, the dollar plunge today following the United Nations report, which called for the greenback to be replaced as the global reserve currency by the International Monetary Fund special drawing rights. Best long story short, they're bankrupting the economy by design. And more on the economy of California. California is on the Tactical Intelligence News Brief. California is on the verge of system failure. Posted June 28th. Basically what's saying is happening, although there should be no surprise to most of the readers, we are seeing more and more evidence that California is hemorrhaging and on the verge of complete collapse. To put in perspective, they are so far in the hole that it would take freeing 168,000 prison inmates and permanently closing 240 university and community college campuses just to balance its budget in the fiscal year that begins today, actually. And California is once the third largest economy in the world, is becoming the next Greece. The California government has spent so far beyond its means that mass layoff, failing infrastructure and welfare reductions that leave a million children and poor and elderly without services they need. And California is just, it's sinking. It's literally sinking. I mean, it's like it's sinking into the ocean, but sinking into the economic depth that's going on. More on TSA here. Transportation Safety Agency. I mean, it's whatever they are. They're a bunch of tyrants. And when we talk about the new naked body scanners that are coming in the airports, how they cause the radiation causes cancer. We all know radiation causes cancer, and they always use radiation to fight cancer, but everybody who goes through chemo ends up with worse cancer. And radiation. Columbia University. This is Paul Joseph Watson, PrisonPlanet.com, and Columbia University body scanners increase risk of skin cancer. It's it says the airport body scanners could lead an increase in skin cancer, according to the scientists at Columbia University, to warn that dose emitted by the naked X-ray devices could be 20 times higher than originally estimated. Another clear example of how scanners are completely illegal, dangerous to the public, and need to be removed immediately. And this is Dr. David Brenner, head of the Columbia University Center for Radiological Research, warns children and people with gene mutations whose bodies are less able to repair damage to their DNA are most at risk. And it just goes on all the medical details of how these things are going to promote a lot of cancer. And that's why when you go in the hospital, when you go for an X-ray, they put a lead vest over you because they want you to, it protects you from the radiation. But these things have more radiation, 4 or 5 times the amount more than a hospital X-ray. And those TSA workers are sitting down there 8 hours a day and being exposed to this radiation. Pilots and airport personnel, they have to go through those on a daily basis. There's going to be a huge surge in cancer. That's going to be the next epidemic, is radiation cancer. I mean, within a few years, it's going to be with the cell phones, but that's another story altogether with the EMF and everything. World War III about to happen. And World War III is Obama doctrine. Congress just declared preemptive war on Iran. It's June 28th from activist post Eric Blair, and I already went through the article. It's just Obama supporting the war on Iran. Them and Israel about to move in and attack Iran. And the stage is set for World War III. The stage is set for the Battle of Gog and Magog. And we're living in some biblical times, people. And moving on to police state. And the thing is, article here, why are police abusing the elderly? Stories across the line between reasonable and justified physical force are commonplace in modern news cycle. Basically, it's going on with the Rodney King incident that sparked observation of police brutality. And this is some of the news that's been going on. Yeah, the taser rate went, I think it was 2009, the taser rate went up 72% use. Like it went up more, 72% more police officers were using tasers. Every little excuse, the guy says, no, bang, you're a taser, you know. There's one story here, routine traffic stop. Catherine Wickfine. An example would be the 72-year-old woman in Travis County, Texas, during a routine traffic stop on May 11th, 2009. The woman